Hello and welcome to my 2024 What Are We Doing About Planners for Next Year video. Uh, as a heads up, I have 3 dogs and 2 cats milling around me, so we're pretty much guaranteed to be interrupted and have some stuff going on in the background, but that's real life, right? So I thought it would be fun. I have a lot of new things kind of happening for me right now currently, and then also are going to carry into 2024. And I thought it would be fun to kind of sit down and record a video. I've got my coffee, I have my candle. It's snowy outside here in Colorado today, and let's talk about how I plan on keeping track of all of the disparate sort of things that I have currently going on and will continue to have going on in 2024. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a writer. I write psychological thrillers, domestic suspense. So that's one aspect of what I do. Another thing, in 2022, I went back to working as a mainline flight attendant for a carrier, a U.S. carrier here that I used to work for when I was in my early 20s. So I had worked as my kids were growing up, worked as a school psychologist while they were in school. And then once my son graduated high school, I decided it was time for a change. You can call it a midlife crisis if you like. I wouldn't disagree with you. And decided I wanted to go back to being a flight attendant. Well, just recently, earlier this fall, I had a call from a woman I respect a lot and have done work for in the past, asking if I would be willing to return to working as a school psychologist part-time at a school that had just recently lost their mental health provider, their mental health provider had decided to quit. And so I agreed to do this. And so that is currently what I have going on in my life. I write novels. I fly on the weekends mostly, right? And 4 days a week, I'm going down to a school, and I'm a school psychologist 4 days a week. So I'm doing evaluations, writing IEPs, meeting mental health minutes, that kind of thing. So as you may have guessed, I like to work, and I work a lot kind of thing. I prefer to have a lot of different things going on, but it's really important for me to keep them all straight. And so thus we are talking about how I plan on doing that and what my plans are for 2024. So let's have a cup of coffee and let's talk about what I will be doing with these books this year. First, let's talk about what I have been doing. So I started off the year actually in something completely different. I was just using a 6-ring binder and Erin Condren loose leaf planner pages to, when they've got those that you sort of use and you can set up. I didn't grab it to show you. But then halfway through the year, I transitioned into the common planner, and largely it was I was getting frustrated with the rings and trying to write, and I don't like opening and closing the rings all the time. Even though I have a lot of binders, I probably have 15 different like A5 binders, but I don't particularly like writing right up against the rings. And so I was like, okay, let's go back to trying a bound planner. So I switched to the common planner, the Sterling Ink common planner, and it was the middle of the year, but what she did have in stock still was the undated half year, which was perfect. That's all I needed. So I have a lot of stuff in here, which I won't be sharing because some of it is personal and some of it is confidential. But I will kind of flip through the one I have for 2024 because that one is undated. I mean, it's not undated, but it's blank. I haven't filled anything out. And then the cover I have on it is just the Sterling Ink, plastic cover that you can get from their website. So I have enjoyed this a lot, and what I'm using it for, it has the vertical weekly layout, and it also has the monthly pages at the very beginning. And then these blank pages at the end, I have been using essentially as journaling pages. So that is what I have been using for these last 6 months in this teal Moterm cover. And as you can see, I'm very functional. I hardly ever use these pockets unless I have something very specific like business cards or notes or sticky notes that I need to kind of take with me, but I don't actually utilize those a lot. I do sometimes use this pocket back here if I have to keep track of receipts, travel expenses, those sorts of things. But then I transition those. I don't let them live in there. I transition them onto something, into another folder. So there's that piece. And I have predominantly been using that for really as almost like a catch-all. So it's been what was my flying schedule? Did I have CBTs due? What do I have coming up? Bills, paydays, stuff the kids have going on. And so really just kind of like a catch-all planner for everything. And then this planner, I had started off, this is the, of course, the Erin Condren Months Planner. I always really like these a lot. I think, I love the paper weight on them. I'm going to flip to October because I didn't do too much with this. And so I don't mind sharing what's here. But I really do like the paper weight of the Erin Condren planners. I also like the larger month layout, and so that if I'm just trying to really kind of wrap my head around what is going on, and this one stays at home. It's too big to come with me on my trips, and I don't haul it back and forth to the school with me, although that's actually not true because that's changing, and we're going to talk about that for 2024. So why I like this planner so much, I have a lot of stuff in there for December. I started off using this planner to kind of plan things like my book launch, keeping track of the projects for my book launch. And so, for those of you who don't know, this was the book that I released last year. Once Upon a Lie came out in March of 2023. And so this planner was really used to help launch this book, to build this book. And it was fantastic because if I was doing a Instagram, giveaway, if I was doing stuff on my blog or social media in general, I was keeping track of it here. In addition to tracking, cover design, edits, things like that. The first part of this planner was all about, pretty much the creation of this book. And so it really was just to sort of manage my writing career. As the rest of the year went on, and of course, then, doing marketing stuff for that book it had been out, and I didn't have as many activities involved with doing that. This planner sort of laid dormant. I didn't use it too much, probably throughout the summer. And then as I went back to working in the schools, I have been utilizing this for to sort of track, like, okay, what evaluations are coming up? What do we need to do about 504s? What's my counseling, schedule going to look like with the kids and that sort of thing. So the rest of this planner, probably from November, December, is really that. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of confidential information in there. So I won't be doing a flip through or anything about that. So I've always really liked this planner. There's something just kind of calls to me every year. I buy one every year. I find I end up starting off using it for one thing, and then it transitions as my needs or my life kind of shifts and changes throughout the year. I'll utilize it for something else. I like that it has the few pages after each month. Most of these are used, so I won't share those. But here are the 2 blank pages I have left at the end of October. And then at the very back I always get that extra notes pages. And so when I was doing the book launch, I had a lot of just sort of like lists and then like classes I was taking and things like that are in this part right here. And that was all about the book launch. And then now, of course, those pages have transitioned to being more information about meeting notes. Like if I'm in a meeting about a kid and this sort of thing, I'm taking meeting notes and things like that, things that I need to come back to later. So that was essentially what I was using or have been using for 2023. So let's talk about what's changing for 2024, why I'm excited about it. Okay, to start with, let's talk about this guy. Because I had been using the half-year undated Sterling ink planner for 2020, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. It took me a little while to get used to doing the vertical planning, because I will tell you in the past, I have preferred horizontal planning. It's what I've used. And I really sort of had to get used to doing this vertical layout. You can see it if I bring it up to the, and try to find out a way that it was going to be functional for me. I'm not a big fan of having every second of my day planned out. And so I never could quite figure out, they have the times running down here. And whereas I do frequently have appointments or meetings scheduled of some sort every day, I'm not one to kind of go in and say, okay, from 6 to 10, I'm blocking out that schedule. I'm going to be working on my book during that time, or from 12 to 3, this is the time I'm writing IEPs. And the reason why that is because it has a lot to just do with my personality. I do not like having a micro schedule. I like having structure, and I like having a macro schedule for my day, and I like having a list for my day. So here are the list of things I need to work on. So for example, today, I need to write a blog post. I need to film this video. I need to finish an FBA, which is functional behavioral analysis, and the behavior improvement plan for a kid. I need to work on chapter 44 of The Last Nanny, which is my book that will be coming out in 2024. So I have a list of things that I need to get done today. And I like that. I like the structure of a list. I do not like, the trying to force myself to sort of say, okay, from 7 to 10, you're going to be working on that FBA. From 11 to 12, you're going to take lunch. And it's more of I like to then know what I have to do. And then sort of as my day roll with what am I in the mood for next? Or what is my largest priority? So right now, today, my biggest priority was working on that functional behavioral analysis, which I did before recording this video, for example. So I prefer to kind of have that loose structure, but absolutely knowing what I need to get done for that day. And so once I figured out that I like using the vertical planner in terms of a list, and additionally like it as that it crosses the whole entire week, so that if I'm creating a list on Monday, quite frankly, usually I write a list that is way too long, many more things than I will ever get to in that day. But then it exists, and then when I'm turning here, I can see Tuesday, Wednesday. It's I'm reflecting back on the whole week. It's okay, what did I not get done that day? And I can roll it over, or continue to sort of see it as part of my ongoing weekly list of things that need to get done. Additionally, with this planner, I created these little bookmarks. I don't know if they're going to work because I laminated them, and these are little Erin Condren, they're little vegan leather tabs that I put on the top, but they're pretty slippery, and I find that they fall out pretty easy. So I don't know if those are going to last long term. But I enjoy also having this monthly spread. It's not as, for me, just the feel of it, because it's not as expansive as that Erin Condren monthly layout. Mostly I use this for, just sort of specific things I need to, if I have a meeting on the 18th, or I'll carry this planner with me. And so if I'm at the dentist and I'm scheduling my next dentist appointment 6 months out, I like having the monthly spread so that I can go ahead and put that in the calendar right away. And it's there and it exists, so it's sort of those cross months, just keeping track of stuff that's going to be in the future, like oil changes. You get the oil change, okay, and however many months from now, I'm going to have to remember or have that on my list to get that done. And that's predominantly what I use this, the Common Planner monthly spread. I don't really use it for any big sort of project planning or future planning. It's for me just a way to kind of keep track of things. I've actually for a while I was putting down when I had trips. So working as a flight attendant, you have your schedule and when your trips are. But I find since I've gone back to working in the schools, I'm trading away those trips so much, or I'm trading them for different trips so that it'll work with my school schedule, that I don't even bother putting them in here when I get my line for the month, because it's absolutely going to change. And so there's just no point in me spending too much time. I I actually might start putting them on sticky notes and like putting them on the dates, and then that way it's, you know, changeable. This will be kind of my planner that goes with me everywhere for 2024, and basically because it'll have my weekly kind of list and what I'm working on. I also like it because it has all of these blank pages at the back, which I have in the half year version been using as kind of journaling pages. So I've actually really been enjoying that, and it has been very therapeutic as well, I have found. And I like the idea of keeping these and having them so that I can see, okay, what was I working on? What was my schedule? But in addition, like I have these individual pages that were my, you know, maybe more in-depth thoughts about how I was feeling, or, you know, if something was frustrating me, that kind of thing. Or if I was really happy and celebrating, you know, something, I had journaled about it in here. The next thing I want to talk about is a notebook that will be continuing on from last year, and that is basically my story notebook. And so this is an A5 Stylogy. I bought the cover from Salty Katie Co. on Etsy, which is super cute. I decided just to do the plain cover. She has ones that stars and things like that, and then I'm slowly kind of adding my writing stickers to the outside of this cover. And so right now, this book, at the beginning here, you can see is mostly, not mostly, it's all notes, chapter, character notes, this sort of thing on my new book that will be coming out in 24, which is The Last Nanny. And I did a cover reveal for that over on Instagram and also Facebook. I'm not sure if I had put it, I think I put it on my blog too. I'd have to go back and check. So this is basically where I just kind of, if I'm having, so like recently I hadn't worked on my book for a couple weeks, and I was like, okay. And I went through and I reread what I had, and I took chapter notes on what was kind of happening, and you can sort of see those are here. These are the chapter notes I've been taking on what had happened in each chapter, so I can kind of track the story and then continue on. And I had never really done that before until I got to like the editing stage, but I really enjoy it now because, you know, because I've gotten so busy with my other two jobs, I can have, unfortunately, more days that go by where I'm not actually getting worked on my book. Now that I have done these sort of like micro chapter notes, I don't have to go back and read the whole book to kind of get, you know, keep that story thread current in my head. I can just kind of go back and say, aha, this is where I am in the story. And I'm also had like, I had notes in there in terms of like thoughts on what will be happening moving forward. You know, what is something that I want to remember specifically about a character or a plot point that I need to address later on. And so I've really liked having this so that I don't have to go back and, you know, reread everything I've written so far, you know, every time I want to get back to working on the book. So this will continue on. I will not need this entire notebook for The Last Nanny. And so it will also then just continue on and be my notebook for the book that I plan on starting after the Last Nanny publishes in 2024. And so this stays with me at all times. And like this, it's because you never know when you're going to have a chance, or you have a thought, or, you know, something occurs to you about a character. And there's just been too many times in my writing life where I've had those thoughts. I'm like, oh, that's great, you know, and it's like, you're for sure going to remember that. And, you know, 80% of the time you don't remember it, or it's not exactly the thought that you had that was, you know, as exciting when you first had it. And so I just don't take chances with that anymore. And so this essentially goes with me everywhere, along with my, you know, catch-all daily list taking, my life. This is basically going to be my whole life is in this planner. Those go together and come with me everywhere. And they are going to be moving into, ta-da, a new Moterm cover. So I had that teal one for 2023, and I liked it so much. I love just the feel of them. Like the leather is, you know, obviously wonderful quality, and it just feels great in your hand. And I like the flexible feel of it. And so these together will be moving into this guy right here. And so I think last year I had the half planner in there. Oh yeah, they fit. And so, and you know, of course that's a little bit thinner than the whole year version. I just like to have a whole year together and ready to go. So those do fit in there. And then if I ever need, you know, sticky notes or bookmarks or anything like that, but I have found over the years, I have tried different decorative planning. I've tried stickers, I've tried washi tape, you know, all those sort of things. And they're kind of fun, but I find at the end of the day, like I'm probably really I'm just a functional planner. I like my pens, I like taking notes, and I guess couldn't especially be super bothered with the decorative aspect of it. So plus it's just, there's usually, I have way too much going on like in my planners, and the stickers take up space that I could be using for, you know, things I need to keep track of and lists and meeting notes and things like that. So I find, plus sometimes it can be kind of weird to be in a meeting like, you know, you're in a parent meeting kind of thing, and then you have like washi tape and stickers, you know, all over the page that you're taking notes on. And so I don't know, maybe that's just not sending exactly the right message that I want to be having in that professional meeting. So anyway, I am really happy and excited that this will be sort of my bread and butter for next year, and I'm happy about that. But let's talk about what else I will be using. So I'm going to take just a quick sip of my coffee before it gets too cold. So like last year, I went ahead and bought the Erin Condren monthly planner. I don't know, I just really like these. I don't haul them around with me everywhere because they are so big. Like I don't take them on trips and things like that. But I really, this one I was excited about. This is the Etta V cover. I got the rose gold coil for it, and I think to me, it's just the energy of these I like a lot. And so, and then this layout in particular, you know, has the really bright colored dividers, which was, you know, just incredibly joyful. And my plan for this for 2024 is, because for at least the very first half of the year, I'm going to be working back in the school for at least through May. So for the first 5 months, this will predominantly be filled up with my schedule for the school. So IEP meetings, 504 meetings, when evaluations are due, when I have to have IEPs completed by, any FBAs and behavior improvement plans that need to be written, that's going to be housed here. I don't anticipate or expect to be continuing that school psychology work into next year. I say that every year, and somehow I still end up doing something involved in the school every year. But so for right now, this planner I only really foresee using it for that purpose, you know, through May. And then I'll probably, I don't like to waste things. And so then I'll probably figure out, you know, what I want to utilize it for the rest of the year if I'm not going to be continuing in the school. And I might actually just, because right around then is logically, or realistically, probably when I'll be able to get the last nanny out, just because, you know, my schedule, I had originally wanted to publish the last nanny at the end of March. And that would be fantastic, but just being realistic about how much I'm working right now, I'm not sure if I'm still going to be able to do that. And so it could be that, you know, I'm publishing the last nanny in summertime, which is when this planner can transition into more of a marketing planner. So what am I doing to sort of market that book? What am I doing to you know, reach out to book influencers, ARC readers, that kind of thing. And so this might transition, like just sort of the opposite of what I did last year. It'll be a school planner first, and then transition into sort of a marketing writing career planner for the rest of the year. So, you know, these always bring me a lot of joy, and I like the way. And one other thing about these, the spreads kind of changed. The monthly spreads had changed, and so it's like goals, important dates. But then they have this like habit tracker, down here. I've used habit trackers off and on with greater, and like sometimes they have been very successful for me, but I think again, it's like how I feel about having my day also planned down to the hour. It's something I seem to kind of resist, and it doesn't really work for me and or feel very motivating. I prefer to kind of have a loose idea of like, these are the things and these are the priorities. And I work very hard and I get a lot of work done, but I don't think I like to have too many constraints on when I'm actually getting it done, as long as it's, making sure I'm getting it done well ahead of the due date or the timeline, then that is enough and that works for me. So habit trackers, I don't know, like I like the idea of them, particularly I think when it comes to writing, but just making sure you're doing that daily writing. But the constraint of them, it just seems to be something I just kind of innately rebel against for whatever reason. So anyway, starts off as a school planner. We'll probably transition into some sort of a marketing planner for the second half of 24. Next up, let's talk about ring binders. I have a lot of ring binders. Currently, I moved into my Louis Vuitton A5, and I used these predominantly. So as I was using the common planner for the second half of the year, the undated one, the first half of the year, I was just using a ring binder with, and it was Erin Condren A5 inserts. And that was great. It was the paper that I really liked, and it worked. Now, I, like so many others, get annoyed with the writing on this side with the rings, and like, you're running into it here. I know a lot of people open and close their rings, or they'll cut little tabs here and they just slide it in or out. I think I just, in general, have decided that I prefer the flat lay of the bound planner, at least right now. Who knows? Like, these things can change all the time. I'm not getting rid of my ring planners. I think I will definitely come back and use them at times. So, but what I was thinking, and what I am going to be using this for is an aspect of it's in conjunction with, about my writing career. I guess not in conjunction with, this is about my writing career. And so I had created these dashboards a couple years ago, and continuing on, I just decided to go ahead and bring them out again and use them again. This is my family, which is part of my motivation. But what this is for, so several years ago, I had taken Sarah Cannon's HB90 planner course and bought the undated planner, A5 planner that goes with that. And so I have that file, and you can, of course, just print it up every time you're going to use it. And this is used for solely and only my writing career and aspects that go along with that with regards to like social media. So like the goals that I have for that career aspect, and it's not going to have anything in it that has whatsoever to do with my school psychology life or my flying life. Like, this really is just a place for me to open this up and focus on, okay, where am I with the book? What are any social media tasks that I want to complete? Any notes about reaching out to, and, I know that I had said like that other one might transition into being a marketing planner for the second half of the year, and maybe that's the case. But for right now, I'm going to return to the HB90 planner, and this, my rings binder, is going to be just for that. And why I think that is perfect is because I don't have to be taking a lot of notes or writing a lot of things in here. It really is just going to be like, and if I'm tracking things, it's sort of like, right here, I'm tracking my writing, I'm tracking, social media posting, and that might just be it. Maybe blog writing. I do a monthly newsletter, so I don't necessarily need to work on that every day. But writing here is just going to be sort of that, did I write today? How many words did I write today? I'd like to get, back to doing my weekly blog. And then I would like to get back to a more regular schedule of posting YouTube videos. over a variety of different topics, you know, not just writing. Obviously, I like also making planner videos and things like that. So as those things sort of develop and come into being, that is what this planner will be used for. It's I don't need to take it with me everywhere. I only need to probably open it up about once or twice a week, and I'm planning out, you know, blog posts. I'm planning out if it is the time of the month where I'm working on my newsletter, that sort of thing. What is the YouTube video I would like to post for that week? And that is solely what this is going to be used for, in addition to any goal planning that I have about a current, so this is getting a little bit closer to where I currently am in this planner, any goals that I want to sort of accomplish in that quarter for that particular book that I'm working on. So right now I'm working on The Last Nanny. The earlier pages in here are all about the writing and any future marketing ideas that I'm having for that book and its release. And I'm finding that I'm enjoying not having specific goals, I guess, which is, you're not really, when I write goals for, you know, IEPs and schools and things like that, it's all about having, you know, specific, measurable. You have those SMART goals that you're working on with those IEP goals. But I have found that when it comes to my writing, I do better to have more sort of, I guess I'm trying to like decide how I want to word this. It's not that I want to have a goal that, okay, you need to complete this book by, you know, December 15th and just all the pressure. And in order to do that, you're going to have to write, you know, 1,200 words every single day. And again, I think it's like having the really detailed hour by hour schedule. I tend to resist that and sort of rebel against it. And so what this is going to be is more like, you know, you have to, I want to write every day, and it could be 5 words, it could be 2,000 words, but it's just, I need to touch that manuscript every single day and stay in the story. I want to have one blog post every week, which is totally doable. It's not too much. It's not over the top, you know, and I don't have any outcome goals attached to that. Like, it's not about like, you know, you need to earn, you know, $10,000 this month from, you know, Once Upon the Lie. And so you're going to be, you know, here are the marketing things you're going to do in order to get your sales up to 10 grand a month. You know, I'm not interested in that right now. I'm quite frankly really busy with the school psychology and with the flying. And so for me, part of like maintaining this as like a happy space for me is it's almost like a quasi hobby that I actually happen to make money doing. And I just want to keep that, like, that love of it, that like space in my head where it's like, yes, I call it a career, but it's something that brings me a lot of happiness and joy. In order for me to continue to hang on to those feelings, I just have to approach it in a different way than I do my career mindset when it comes to like my school psychology work or even my flight attendant work. And so it's something I enjoy doing for the sake of doing it. I happen to make money doing it. I happen to enjoy putting together amazing books that are really good products that people like to read. But the bottom line is the joy of the creation, the process, the creation process. And this planner is all about keeping me in that mindset and not allowing myself to get too caught up in a lot of the other, you know, external expectations about books and book sales and, you know, productivity and sales. No, it's like I want this to remain a happy space without a lot of external pressure and or expectations. And that is my sort of best mindset for creating books. And it all comes from, I want to write the stories that I want to write, and I want to enjoy it. And for the people who also enjoy those same types of stories. And so this is all just about joy, happiness, and my creative pursuits. And I think since I have sort of reframed my mindset with regards to that, my approach to my writing has just been filled with so much more joy, I think. And here's Pepper. She doesn't like the candle, though. I don't know if she's actually going to show up. Oh, she's gone. That was it. Quick visit from Pepper, and then she was put off by the flame. But I'm really excited about once I sort of wrapped my head around like how to continue approaching my writing in a way that was a happy space, which is how I started writing. You know, it was something that brought me joy, and then it kind of just became something else. Um, you know, I think with the expectations of when my other two books that were traditionally published and sort of, you know, publishing and marketing and, you know, all of that, it just sort of robbed some of the joy for me. And so since Once Upon a Lie came out, I think I've slowly been getting back to what it is about that creative process that lights up my life. And this is all about that. And finally, we have this tiny, cute, adorable. Now I'll tell you, I swear, I'm not one of those people that buys things just to buy things. But this maybe actually was a buy thing just to buy something. So I see these, I've seen these on social media. These of course are the Moterm passport planners. Now I'm going to tell you, there is simply no way ever something this size could meet my planner needs. Like I know there's people who is like, this is it, this is my planner and everything lives in here. And I just have way too much going on. Like it could never, it's just not big enough. However, I do think it's adorable and I love it. So what I will be using this for, because when I'm working in my flight attendant job, I have to have my passport with me at all times because you never know, particularly if I'm on reserve, which means you're basically on call that month. I never know when they're going to give me a trip where I'm going out of the country. So it's a duty item. You have to have your passport with you. And so I actually plan on keeping my actual passport in here. I haven't moved it into here yet because I just did an unboxing video for this. And then furthermore, so I'll be taking probably one of these out. I kind of like the idea of having it as like a little travel wallet. And so, you know, keep a couple credit cards in here, some cash. And then when I have layovers in cities, so like this weekend, I have a layover in New Orleans, and I'm going to move into this before I head down there. I particularly like the idea of using this as a little wallet because it will have my IDs in it. It will also have my passport, but it's going to have these two additional little notebooks in here. And if I'm out and about, as frequently happens, like I like this is small and it'll just kind of slip into the little bag I carry around with me for layovers when I'm kind of exploring a city or going out for dinner or whatever. And that if story ideas or any other ideas or, you know, I need to make a list, I like this idea of having a little notebook with me that's not big and cumbersome. It's not heavy because, you know, I can do quite a bit of walking on those layovers. So it's small, and then I can just transfer anything that's in here that I will need in my larger planner or my story idea notebook when I get back to the hotel or when I get home or something like that. But I love the idea of this little guy coming with me, traveling along with me when I'm on layovers, and then also, of course, just going through customs and, you know, having your passport easy to kind of pull out. It's ready, but it's still protected and all of those. So that is actually my plan for this guy. He's going to be kind of like a travel wallet slash, you know, still able to take notes, story ideas, type of companion. And so I'm excited. Or, you know, if I'm out and about and, you know, there's like I'm in a particular setting and it kind of sparks somewhere where I'd like to set a scene or something like that. Like I have this available to just kind of take those notes right there. And so that's how I intend on using this. But I will be honest with you, I did think of a reason to use it because I bought it because it's so cute. So I don't know. I don't think I'll buy any more. Those are famous last words, right? But I did think it was adorable. And so I decided to go ahead and get it. So those are my plans for 2024. How I will be utilizing these guys. They're not like, I mean, this one will come with me both on trips and when I go down to the school that I'm working at. A lot of times I just kind of, I'll pop it in my purse as well. This one, the HB90 writing planner, that's just going to stay at home. I don't need to be in that one every day. This one will come with me down to the school. It's perfect for taking This is a big piece of paper. It's great for taking a lot of meeting notes and keeping track of like my larger kind of school schedule. So there's that. And then this is, of course, my little layover wallet / notebook. And that is what I'm going to be doing for 2024. Do you like to have multiple planners? Do you find that you're able to kind of keep everything in just one place and you don't need to have more than one thing going on? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please also give it a thumbs up. And I hope that you'll subscribe. We'll be doing more planner videos throughout the year, in addition to also writing videos, general thoughts, what's happening. So I hope you'll consider subscribing. I would certainly appreciate having you here. I hope the rest of your day is fantastic and that you're looking forward to 2024 as much as I am. Bye.